We're born again. Pick this up and finish Proverbs. This video, Proverbs 30 and 31, about a page and a half. And then we'll move on to Psalms. Very long, 150. Proverbs 30. The sayings of Agur, son of Jakeh, an inspired utterance. So he is inspired with the Holy Spirit or angels to speak this. This man's utterance to Ithiel. I am weary, God, but I can prevail. Surely I am only a brute, not a man. I do not have human wisdom. I do not have human understanding. I have not learned wisdom, nor have I attained to the knowledge of the Holy One, who has gone up to heaven and come down. Who has gone up to heaven and come down? Whose hands have gathered up the wind? Who has wrapped up the waters in a cloak? Who has established all the ends of the earth? What is his name, and what is the name of his son? Surely you know. He's speaking, saying he's diminishing himself, minimalizing himself, he's humbling himself. He's nothing. He's asking, who is this Son of God? Kind of like prophesying there. Every word of God is flawless. It's perfect. He is a shield to those who take refuge in him. God is my refuge. Do not add to his words, or he will rebuke you and prove you a liar. How many have done that? And now if they mistranslated something, his word, the Bible, Quran, the Torah, whatever, or directly, and that's on them. I mean, it's on them, but it was not intentional. But if they intentionally did it, or they were influenced by darkness, then it is on them. So do not add to his word. Just you give and receive something, you give it exactly the way you received it. Which is what I do with these messages. My interpretations through the video was my sense, my degree, my level of understanding of them is given to me. But is it perfect? Is it complete? No. Is it how you would understand it? No. I share these in videos, explanation to help you to understand, to explain it. And if you disagree with it, you sense something else, you may sense it better, understand it better than me, or not as well, just to help you to understand, to form an understanding of it. Two things I ask of you, Lord. Do not refuse me before I die. We don't want that. We want him to accept us. But he does. He wants that. Keep falsehood and lies far from me. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Give me only my daily bread, only what I need. That's all he promises, what we need, not all that we want. He's asking, he's humbling himself again. Not refuse me before I die, and keep falsehood and lies far from me, and give me neither poverty nor riches. Don't give me more than I need. Give me at least what I need. Don't give me less than what I need, but give me only my daily bread. Give us this day our daily bread. Our Father, this prayer. This is how Jesus said to pray. Otherwise, I may have too much and disown you and say, who is the Lord? He says, otherwise, I may become too much, have too much, and turn away from you, is what he's saying. Say, who is the Lord? I don't need God. Look, I'm doing all this myself. You see that day in, day out, more and more. Or I may become poor and steal, and so dishonor the name of my God. It's also a possibility. Do not slander a servant to their master. Do not slander a servant to their master, or they will curse you and you will pay for it. So don't bear false witness. There are those who curse their fathers and do not bless their mothers, those who are pure in their own eyes and yet are not cleansed of their filth. I think of Donald Trump, people like him in the world. They think they're all that. They think they're all special and they're above and that they're pure. Even those in pastors and these priests and so on and so forth. But they're not. They're not cleansed of their filth. Those whose eyes are ever so haughty, whose glances are so disdainful, those whose teeth are swords, and whose jaws are set with knives, to devour the poor from the earth and the needy from among mankind. These are not people heading in the right direction. The leech has two daughters. Give, give, they cry. Sounds like the church. There are three things that are never satisfied. The reminder is the church speak out against the Roe v. Wade decision, saying the pro-life, but and they're going to say, well, we're going to need all this, states are going to have to give all this support, and we're going to have to support them in various ways and be there for people to help them with these pregnancies and unwanted pregnancies and aftercare and so forth. But you watch, the church will be asking for donations. When they're the richest, just Catholic Church, when they're the wealthiest entity on earth, they'll be asking for donations to you to give more, yet they, out of their own pockets, will not be giving anything. That's exactly what's going to happen. How many others, these states, I mean, we're all torn by this. I personally went through an abortion long ago. I talked her into it. I freaked out and want the child. And I punished myself. God forgave me, but I punished myself. And I learned how the child, angelic Mary, was not supposed to have been born anyways. He knows all this stuff beforehand. Long before it occurs, he already knows the decisions people are going to make. So he gives them the soul that they're not supposed to have. It's not supposed to be in this world, but for a short time, it's going to be their guardian angel. So they're forgiven. And they have that guardian angel. Now he knows if they're going to keep the child, then we'll give them a soul that was supposed to be meant to travel through the physical plane longer. But all souls have to go through the physical plane. They have to go through conception. All human souls through conception, creation, conception, pass from the physical world back into the spiritual. All souls have to do that. But we're going to be torn because of this. Now, I did the abortion, but I'm anti-abortion. Because I'll try to talk somebody out of it. Support them, but it's their free will choice. And for that reason, I'm pro-choice because God is pro-choice. God gave us free will, so we have freedom to make our own choices. He hopes we'll make the right choices, but He's not going to stop us from making the choice. It's our right He gave us. So no one has the right to tell somebody what choice to make. That's why I disagree with these pro-lifers. I'm pro-life, anti-abortion, but pro-choice. It's not for me to inflict my opinions on others. I can share them, I can advise them, but it's not up to me. I'm not going to hate them for it. It's their choice. I'm here to help. So, if you had an abortion, whatever side you're on, God already knows the decisions long before the souls of the children that are aborted or miscarried or born into this life for a short time and then pass. Those are guardian angels. We are all here. Every soul that comes in this world is here for the exact amount of time that God willed it. Plain and simple. He knows long before how long they're going to be here. He knows long before choices we're going to make. He gives his soul dispersed accordingly. So that's how it works. What was that? Leech has two daughters. Give, give, they cry. There are three things that are never satisfied. Four that never say enough. Grave is never satisfied. Barren womb, land, which is never satisfied with water, and fire, which never says enough. The eye that mocks a father, that scorns an aged mother, will be pecked out by the ravens of the valley, will be eaten by the vultures. It's not honoring the father or the mother, in heaven or in earth. There are three things that are too amazing for me, four that I do not understand. The way of an eagle in the sky, the way of a snake on a rock, the way of a ship on the high seas, the way of a man with a young woman. So many men out there are selfish, all about them. And there are many women like that too, but so many men. And if you're watching this, women, this is going to affect families, relationships even more. Women are out there, pray that they make the right choices, get the help that they need, either choice, either way they go. And women have to decide to take ownership of their bodies, they should have anyways. Say, hey, as long as contraceptive is available, if you're not going to partake and try to prevent a marriage or prevent a pregnancy, dude, then you ain't getting in me. And if they do outlaw contraceptives, then hey, you ain't getting in me, period. So we both decide we're okay with having a child. Otherwise, you ain't getting any part of me. Women, take ownership of your bodies. You decide. Not let men dictate. This is the way of an adulterous woman. She eats and wipes her mouth and says, I've done nothing wrong. Whereas she decides, hey, I'm going to play Russian roulette with my body. I've done nothing wrong. That's her choice. Under 3 things the earth trembles. Under 4 it cannot bear up. A servant who becomes a king. Godless fool who gets plenty to eat. Contemptible woman who gets married. And a servant who displaces her mistress. So a servant who becomes a king, a godless fool who gets plenty to eat. Sounds like Trump. People like him in the world. He's not alone. Contemptible woman who gets married. And marries when she doesn't really like men or who she's with, or she got married for the wrong reasons. That's not really a woman, a man too. Goes both ways. And a servant who displaces her mistress, who thinks of themselves higher than what they are. That's not being discriminatory. You see, we're all who we are. If we try to be more than we are, that's not a good thing. 4 things on earth are small, yet they are extremely wise. Ants are creatures of little strength. They're very wise, yet they store up their food in the summer. Hyraxes, I'm not exactly sure, I remember what those are creatures of little power, yet they make their home in the crags. Locusts have no king, yet they advance together in ranks. A lizard can be caught with a hand, yet it is found in kings' palaces. So these humble little things flourish. Again, be humble, not self-exalting. There are 3 things that are stately in their stride, 4 that move with stately bearing. A lion mighty among beasts, who retreats before nothing. A strutting rooster, a he-goat, and a king secure against revolt. If you play the fool and exalt yourself, or if you plan evil, clap your hand over your mouth. For as churning cream produces butter, as twisting the nose produces blood, so stirring up anger produces strife. So do not exalt yourself. Do not plan evil. This is going to cause a lot of strife, not for others, but for yourself. Proverbs 31 is the sayings of King Lemuel, an inspired utterance his mother taught him. So, spiritual utterance that his mother taught him. Listen, my son, listen, son of my womb. Listen, my son, the answer to my prayers. Do not spend your strength on women, your vigor on those who ruin kings. It is not for kings, Lemuel. It is not for kings to drink wine, not for rulers to crave beer, lest they drink and forget what has been decreed and deprive all the oppressed of their rights. Let beer be for those who are perishing, wine for those who are in anguish. Let them drink and forget their poverty and remember their misery no more. But as a leader, you have to be of sound mind, focused. Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the rights of all who are destitute. Speak up and judge fairly. Defend the rights of the poor and the needy. This is what leaders should be doing. A wife of noble character, who can find? She is worth far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. She brings him good. This is the Proverbs 30 woman. Psalm 1, the Alpha, describes a perfect man. Jesus was that part, male. In Proverbs 31, perfect woman. Jesus was the Omega. He was the yin yang, the Alpha and Omega. Psalm 1, man, Proverbs 31, woman, wrapped in one embodiment. wife of noble character, she is worth far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. She selects wool and flax and works with eager hands. Not necessarily mean at home, out on the career. She's like the merchant ships, bringing her food from afar. She gets up while it is still night. She provides food for her family and portions for her female servants. She considers a field and buys it. All of her earnings, she plants a vineyard. Out of her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong for her tasks. She sees that her trading is profitable, and her lamp does not go out at night. She's always on the job. In her hand, she holds the distaff and grasps the spindle with her fingers. She opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy. This is very giving. When it snows, she has no fear for her household, for all of them are clothed in scarlet. She makes coverings for her bed. She is clothed in fine linen and purple. Her husband is respected at the city gate, where he takes his seat among the elders of the land. She makes linen. She builds him up. She's the foundation of him. She makes linen garments and sells them and supplies the merchants with sashes. She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. She's not worried of it. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. She's a teacher. She watches over the affairs of her household, does not eat the bread of idleness. She's a hard worker, focused, takes care of her loved ones. Again, that doesn't necessarily mean being home the whole time. Out and about, doing a career, providing. Her children arise and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. He builds her up. He supports her in her decisions in her life. All she does. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive, and beauty is fleeting. But a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. A woman who believes, praises God, and respects Him and loves Him. Honor her for all that her hands have done, at home and out and about, and let her works bring her praise at the city gate. That's a Psalm 30, perfect woman. Proverbs 31 woman. So Psalm 1 man, Proverbs 31 woman. Description of what the yin and the yang, the alpha and omega are. So on to Psalms from start with the next video. Like I said, 150 of them. So I'm making headway. So I hope this gave some meaning to you, clarified anything. If this is one small thing, awesome. Again, stay safe, support each other. Don't force your beliefs onto others. Accept them, their beliefs, whether misguided or not misguided. Don't let them force anything on you as well. Peace of Christ. God bless.